Ua sauni le atunu e talimano le fonotanga le ato Samoa ma le sisi ngā fua. O le aso su e komiti le senate le mata upu ale mautanga ngase. Ma na tapunia le aonga tafuna le so ono se fe au tau wha matau. O te whaatala whātu se whaapopongo tala nei mai lau KVZK ma lolo soifua le tātou tunuu. E mumu atu o Sauni, Amerika Samoa e tali malo le fono le ato Samoa whaape ma le taunu mai. O malo mo le whaamanatui no le fua le tunuu e le fuafua e amata le vai asonei ni se proklame e peona tapena iei le Arts Council o le matanga wenga o whaatoanga o le matanga wenga o whaatau inga ma la manuia. Whaape ma le matanga wenga o whainga whaiva ma ngātai whale. Talofa, thank you for joining us on our news live from KVZK. Preparations for the Atoll Samoa and the Flag Day are in full swing, with government department employees tasked with decorations such as braiding of electrical poles with coconut leaves, draping of fences with our flag's colours, as well as cleaning the streets from Pangopango all the way to the Veteran Stadium in Tafuna, where the festivities will take place. The Flag Day official program will begin with the Atoll Samoa meeting on Wednesday. Here is more.
Ile taimi le fonotanga le kabinete na saunoai le afionga le Kovanasili, ile tāua le whaamoemoe o Amerika Samoa, e ala ilana tali malo mo le tala noanga a Samoa e lua, ma le whaamanatuina le sisi ngafu o le nei tusanga. O le komiti o le fuaolo taitaia le afionga le lutena Kovanai a tala uenga ile asalo va le ale. Ile polkalame pei ona tuina mai le official Kovana lo manino ai le whaangasolongo le polkalama o le ato Samoa ma le sisi ngafu a Amerika Samoa. O le polkalame nei o lo manino ai e whapea. O le so lea e whaatanuina ai le whaamamaina o le ala tele e amtanga luenga uma le malo e amata mai lava i le awhio ango aua se i pā ia le awhio ango ili ili. O le aso lulu ma le aso tofi o le fono Samoa e lua le ato Samoa. A maea o na suso ai lea ma le whaafiefianga le Arts Council ma le whaalinga o fuo whaereanga a le au whai whaatoanga. O le aso wharaile o whaafiefianga o le whaalinga o loa le matanga luenga o pisinisi ma la manuia le DUC o le tauwanga whangota a le matanga ruenga o whainga whaiva ma le vao matua ma le whaalinga o miamata a le matanga ruenga o whaantoanga. O le aso toa nai le uafuafua mo le whaangata mai le tai le tu unga whautasi o na suso ai lea ma le savalinga po le float parade e a matatu i le malai vaalele se i pā ia le malai taalo le veterani Tafuna le o le awha taunuina i le wha moe o le fua. O le aso sa le o le awha tautai ai se saudi ngā lotu le fua. O ra sisi na ilo lea o le tanga vai o le malo i le asunga fua so ai. O malo whaalolongia le o le aawai e au fiai le kovana o Hawaii o sui mai Samoa jutu tasi, sui mai le Interior, ma sui mai le Navy. Cabinet met today at the American Samoa Community College Multi-Purpose Center, and the Flag Day Committee led by the Lieutenant Governor Talawenga Salo Va'alele outlined the upcoming Flag Day events. Today, April 10, is designated for all American Samoa government departments to perform an island-wide cleanup beginning from Aua to Iliili. On the 12th and 13th of April is scheduled for the Atoll Samoa Talk with counterparts from Samoa of 21 delegates led by Prime Minister Fiamea Naomi Mataafa. She and her cabinet members will arrive tomorrow. On Thursday, April 13, the Art Council performances and the Department of Agriculture Farm Fair. On Friday, April 14th, Arts Council, Department of Commerce Trade Show, Department of Marine and Wildlife Resources Fishing Tournament, and the continuation of Farm Fair. On April 15, that Saturday, will be the Fantasi Race at 7 a.m. with the Arts Council performances to follow, the DOC Trade Show, Farm Fair, and the parade of government departments and churches participating, as well as floats at 3 p.m. starting from the airport to the stadium. On Sunday, April 16th, is the official service for the Flag Day set on Monday. Special guests including the Governor of Hawaii, guests from the Department of Interior, guests from the U.S. Navy in Hawaii, a marching band from two of the branches of the military, U.S. Marines and U.S. Army, United States Embassy, representative from APIA, and the High Commissioner from Australia. There will be traditional dances from the morning up to 12 p.m., which will start with Catholic Church, Methodist Church, and conclude with the Congregational Christian Church of American Samoa. After the performances, the award ceremony and traditional sua presentation to follow, after with the ending of Flag Day concessions.
Inisi utala, o leo latu ina atu nei limata upu e peona fiaile sa avea, mapule o whaatau ngala mauta ngasa ya Jolan Kilde. I le komiti su ele mauta mawadu ngala senate, i le mai ai o se whaaiunga, e su inai le nei mata upu. In other news, alleged collusion by the former hospital procurement manager Jolan Kilde and a local Asian businessman where a container of goods consigned to the LBJ Medical Supplies Division, yet it was delivered to the Lucky Star or the Canton Martin Leone, will now be investigated by the Senate Select Investigative Committee. The container had medical protection gear supplies, which was sold back by Lucky Star or Canton Mart to the hospital at a very high price.
I suesuenga sa whaia le mautagasi le wāle lua whilu se fulu ma le lua whilu lua. Na whaatau ai le mautagasi le lante de miliona tā lai lo na tau ofu. Ia e whaonga e fō mai whapea ai mani tali fofonga mai le whale o loa o le Lucky Star. O le nei mata aupu leo le asu esueina e le komiti suesue le mauta mawurunga o le senate. O le reporti le nei e pei o na tauri maina e lau KVZK na saunia e se tasi o consultant mai fafo. Sa whaingalunga ina e le LBJ ma sa whaia lea suesuenga e le masino Novema o le tausanga nei. I pepo whaamaunga mai lea suesuenga. Ua tauri maina i nei e lau KVZK o le container e lua se fulfutu na whaamoe mo le mautanga ngasi o le LBJ na molisao i le whane o lo le Lucky Star po le Canton Mart i Leone. I pepa ua tauri maina lau KVZK o lo ta wai na kilia i tua e le customs le nei uta i lalo le ingo le LBJ o na ele tutongi i nai se tiute. I se pepa mai le official tiute o lo marino ai e le sao le invoice a wao le pepa sao o le commercial invoice sa tatau o na lua se lau tau le sifutfitu miliona na i lo le se lau iwa se fulvalu a fefitu se lau lua se fulima e pei ona ta ua ilunga le pepa a le tiute. I pepa wha maunga lo ta ua i ele i eise manienga e langolango i nai le nei whatau. O lo o tua i e whapea na whaisu e suenga le mauta ngase o loa na mauai le ese o tau na whatau i nai nei o loa. The decision was made last week by the Senate after they voted to include the LBJ on the list of their investigation work. As first reported by KVZK News, internal investigations by the hospital uncovered that between 2020 and 2022, the hospital purchased close to $1 million worth of disposable gowns and face masks from Lucky Star Inc. The investigation reported was prepared by a financial consultant hired from overseas and was conducted last November. The hospital alleged that there is evidence found that Jolan Kilde, former procurement manager for the hospital, was colluding with Lucky Star Inc. management. Documents we obtained confirmed that it was a 20-feet container of goods. The items were cleared under the LBJ name, whereas no excise tax was paid. Furthermore, customs documents revealed that the invoice was incorrect and the commercial invoices should reflect a total of $2.37 million instead of $198,725 as declared on the customs form. The report states that the LBJ finance staff confirmed there were no contracts in place to support these purchases. During its regular session last week, Senate President Tuaolomana Efruin said the issues with LBJ is around the money spent on containers and called for a motion to be proposed on the floor to include the said issues on the SSIC agenda, which was approved immediately. According to the hospital's report, it is alleged that LBJ conducted a review of the items purchased from Lucky Star Inc., which indicated that there was a vast difference in the purchase price of the products compared to other vendors. Shoe covers, which comes in 300 pieces per case, were purchased in 2019 from Medline Industry Inc. for $42 a case. The same item was purchased during 2020 from Discount Computer Supplies Inc. at a price of $699.95, while also in 2020 and 2021, the same item was purchased from Lucky Star Inc. for $450 a case, to name a few. This is aside from the incident in November 29, 2021, where customs agents inspected 2 pallets for which LBJ was identified as consignment for medical supplies. Yet, customs identified numerous bottles of alcohol inside a box intended for Mr. Lankiodi. The former procurement manager has his services terminated last month. When contacted earlier by KVZK News, he declined to comment.
O le sole na tupuni vaveile a onga Tafuna High School ona se fe au whaamata o se pomu e pe ona sila fia e leo se teimi mo le nei wa tula i mai ele nei whaafitau le tutono le onga tulanga lua a le whanau I Tafuna. The Department of Homeland Security is investigating a bomb threat at the Tafuna High School, which led to the closing of the school early. This is not the first time school sessions have been disrupted during the current school term as a result of threats in this caliber.
I le tāpuni waweai o le aonga le whanau le tau nei o no se whiau whaamata i se pomu. Le olo su e nai nei i le vaenga mai le Oriside le nei mata upu. Na tāua e le whaatonu le matanga le wengo le puipuinga le lonto I whale le Homeland Security ia sa mana vewe ai whapea. A le whiau o ngā loa le whanau. O nau lātou whaia loa lea o nei awala ina ia lātou mautino ai le tāpuni o le aonga. Ai pitai o lo ngalo I le whanau o nei ngā yoinga e le tusai ma le tūna fono. Na toi whaamanatu e le whaatonu I le teimo le taranoanga ma le KVZK I le mata upu. I le whiau whaamatau I se pomu, le ua mōri ai nei le ia le puia ai Alan Meia. O le tausanga fo I nei na tula I mai se whiau whaamatau I le aonga tāfuna. Le ana tu uina ai e se tasi o tamititi aonga, se ata I lunga o le apio fulinga, o lo ia uina ai se whana, ma le whaupunga I whapea, ka ko ka alo la leoki. Ma ana tāpuni ai fo I ma le aonga I le nā fo I aso. The Department of Homeland Security Director Samana Ve'ea told KVZK News bomb threats are taken seriously and that his team of investigators from the Odiside Division have been tasked to investigate this matter thoroughly. The director suspects that when students don't want to attend school, they come up with a bizarre ways to ensure there is no school. However, they forget that actions have consequences, adding that they will take this matter to the full extent of the law. The director also reminded about the last bomb threats last year in May, which led to the charges against Lepuyai and Meya, accused of anonymous bomb threats, prompting the evacuation of the seaport and airport. He faces charges of making a false bomb report, harassment, public peace disturbance, and obstructing government operations. Earlier this year, a Tafuna High School student posted a gun threat on social media, leading to the closing of school for a day. He posted a photo of the suspension notice and underneath it wrote, "Kako ka alula leoki," or "Let's play with Dev." A photo of a young man holding a rifle is also shown.
Ini so tala e tolu ia sui mai le sfultasi sui na whiriwhiria mo le komisi o ngana Samoa, Amerika Samoa. Leana tu inatu le senati le vai asana te nei leana whaamaunia le tawana le lau lātou tu whinga. O le whalatoia ai ona o kenaisa whauolo ma vai tina sa Dr. Salu Hankin Finau ma le whionga le senatoia whaivai Yoli Godinei o i lātou nei na whaamaunia le tau nei. O tu whinga e whaia le whionga le kōwana siri a le manu pale poi seala ngā maunga na whailo mai I se tusi le asa tolu sa fulu mati ma o lātou ia o ai ono o kenaisa whauolo whaatonu a onga ia talawenga Dr. Samasoni Asaheli o Deacon Malaki Timu, Reverend Vaimoli Kuresa, Reverend Elder Fovale Asiata, Senator Whaivai Yoli Godinei, sui whailautusi o mata au Samoa ia tau ese va asunia, va pele whaipule ia mana valofa manase vai tina sa Dr. Salu Hankin Finau, Milaneta Tinitali, ma Paupau Kuresa, o tū la fo o mai lua na whaaluina, I dumal mota maununga le vaiaso na te nei, ma o whaamauninga o nei tofinga, lena whaamaunia I le tau nei I le mota maulunga. 3 of the 11 nominations for the Samoan Language Commission of American Samoa have been approved by senators today. Ai ono organizer Fauolo and former Education Director, Vaitinasan Dr. Saluhankin Finau, and Senator Faivai Yuli Godine were unanimously approved as commission members. The other nominations by Governor Lemanu Walapoisa Ngamonga were Education Director Talawenga Dr. Samasoni Asaeli, Deacon Malaki Timu, Reverend Vaimoli Kuresa, Reverend Elder Fovali Asiata, Senator Deputy Samoan Affairs Secretary Tau Eseva Sunia, Representative Manavalofa Tutuila Manase, Minaleta Tinitali, and Paupau Kuresa. The proposed legislation also corrects a typo in the initial law already approved, whereas the correct number of commission members are 11 members and not 15. Both measures were introduced in the Senate last week, with confirmation hearings scheduled throughout this week. The current law states that members of the Commission shall include 3 individuals from the public at large with demonstrated knowledge and dedication to the Samoan language, as well as representatives from the American Samoa Community College, head of the Department of Samoan Studies, the Department of Education, either the director or the director's designee, 3 separate clergies, Senate House of Representatives, and the Secretary of Samoan Affairs. La faisina tātou malolonga la atu talimai maula whawina atu tātou talaba mai anai malolonga pupu nei. We'll stay with KVZK. We'll be back with many more right after this. His Highness Tuiatua Tupua Masese Efi shared about the importance of the Samoan language. It appears hundreds of influenza flu-like illnesses have been detected in Samoa. And in the Pacific Islands Forum Chairman reassured over massive nuclear submarine deal. Talo whātua te tari mai o tala lau KVZK. O le vai asana te nei le na whaafonga i le whaunulunga o le official ko Vanasili a loa tui mawame ta wapa i lau pola. Manisi sui o le malo i le saunuanga le whiunga le tui atua te pua tamasese efi. A whapea fo i le masilwhi a whiriwhiri le tau o le ngana Samoa anga nuu swing o le tau matusu singa atu pua. Le tau e tui atua le tau o le tiu te o tūpulanga ma mātua ngā le rue whaatasi. E atangi ai se tasi o ana saunoanga whaapitona tu inatu i le autalavou Katoliko Samoa ia pia le neta wai se tasi o ala ngā upu o le ia i titia i nganga aia e a fuloloto. Au i lea o le tau o lui tau na ia whaamanatu atuai le tupulanga talavou i a tu mau i tulanga whainga tau leo langa. Na whaasino i tui atua se tasi o ana ta iala awane i tau whisa whaasoa le tamau aingo le poto ma le tomai mo le isi au ngā tupulanga. Na tau ofa te pua le teimi na ia tūlau ele ai, ele le motu sā, na ia whaapea ai na te le whaamanga loina lona tangata pe ana whai e le whaatau uina le whaaloalo I tua a matangata o le motusa. This past week, the Chief of Staff, Lord Tumavave Tawapailopola, and several staff members had the privilege of hearing firsthand from the Samoa's former head of state, His Highness Tuiatua Tupuata Masisa Efi and Masiofo Filifilia, about their perspective on the retention of the Samoan language, preserving the Samoan culture, climate change, leadership, and Tuiatua's writings. Tuiatua cited the importance of youth and parents' responsibility to work together, communicate, build and reflect on one of his special remarks presented to the Catholic youth of Samoa in Apia, entitled after a Samoan proverb, o le iaititi le nganga aya ea furoloto. His Highness also mentioned the relationships between and appreciate our environment. Citing challenges, however, reminded the youth to persevere through life hurdles. Tuiatua pointed to one of his guiding statements, Awane Taofisa, sharing the wealth of knowledge and wisdom with the next generation. When we pass on to the next generation, we'll tell these stories. His Highness reminisced about his experience last weekend when he stepped foot on Manua's sacred lands for the first time and shared that he would not forgive himself if he did not pay his respects and tribute to the ancestors and the people of Manua, whereas Manua is dear to his heart, given he has ties to Manua, and the Masiofo Filifilia's parents served as pastors in Ta'o Manua. The discussion concluded with singing and listening to the songs of the village of Asao, Savai, as they tell the stories of Tuiatua's lineage. Ina pia, I tatu tala mai apia, ufa malasia mai le ofisa sili o le matanga luenga o le soifo malaloina pui ngole flu I le vivesi ma PCI le tapenanga le asumaniu ma le toe tu ana mai tawina I fo le toe pepesi mai o le flu maafu ai o na tuina mai lungo fa sisilanga fa lawe tele mai le ofisa sili le awa o matanga luenga o le soifo malaloina le afionga ai ono Dr. Alec Ekeroma. Whaamania mai e le sidia ma le toa se lau whanau laiti na sulu atu le mauta ngase ma toa tua le vai aso o tuanai o no aunga o le tinga aina o le fulu taru mai aso e lima o le masina le nei. Ma ia la pata inga ma fautuanga o lo tuina mai fo i le fautuanga ma mano le atunu e le ngato awala te tau wai o na whai e tau fiai le pepese le fulu e pe o le tau sisi le vava ma mau ma le isi tangata ma ia mautinoa o le leile ea e whangasoloa ai whai lau tali whafonga I teimi umai no whanga tumutumu ma so se whale mai e te asiasi iai ma ia mautinoa ia mamā le tali whafonga ma ia whafuru mamāli mai so se teimi I le whaase silanga whalau I tele lava a le ofisiri o lo ia tā uai o so se tasi lava ma whai o na maua le flu pei tai o I la toa te rele awa noe a whiai ma o atuai I tūlanga ti ngaina ia o whiai tina o lo maitanga mai ono male li wai fo I tangata mātutua ta mai te laiti e whaapea fo I la toa e ia a whianga tu mau le soifua ma o lo o fautuaina mai e le atunu o e vave va ai se whale mai la tane pe a whai walia e nei a whianga ti ngaina o le wha mai pesi o le fulu. To appear now, as of April 5th, hundreds of influenza or flu-like illnesses have been detected in Samoa at the hospital in Matotua. A statement released by the Ministry of Health says there is an ongoing increased circulation of flu-like illnesses in some of the Pacific Island countries such as Fiji, Tonga and French Polynesia, and that influenza B, a type of influenza, has confirmed its resurgence in Fiji and French Polynesia. Currently, the Samoa Public Health Surveillance is monitoring the current status of this influenza and that of the cases presented to the main hospitals. Influenza is an acute respiratory infection caused by influenza viruses and it is contagious. It may occur in tropical regions throughout the year and can cause outbreaks more irregularly. Influenza can cause illnesses which become severe and sometimes lead to hospitalization and death. There are 4 types of influenza or flu, which are type A, B, C, and D. The most common is type A and B, and Samoa has both types A and B. Type influenza is the most common and it can be more serious in adults, and type B is confirmed to be more common in children and more serious in young children. Both influenza type A and B are to be taken seriously and monitored closely due to their potential nature to be severe. However, ever since returning to normalcy, many people are not vigilant in basic preventative measures of preventing flu-like symptoms of diseases such as COVID-19. Therefore, it is not a surprise to see an increased number of influenza illnesses in the country. Symptoms for influenza or the flu is the same as COVID-19, which include fever, headache, muscle ache, and also upper respiratory symptoms such as sneezing and coughing. Follow all precaution and prevention measures if you feel like you have the flu symptom to prevent the spread of the virus. Seek medical attention and visit the nearest hospital if you or your family have complications or serious symptoms of flu-like illnesses. The Ministry of Health also advises the public to take heed of the preventative measures when observing the flu-like symptoms. I tatu talama le Pasifika o le taʻitaʻifono o le fono atu moto le Pasifika o whaamania mai e le United States e whaapea o le whengenga le AUKUS. Lea lo o whaamamanuina ai le whengenga a Rarotonga e ua mai o na ia wha iloa moaina le whaasangatau iai i lea whengenga. O le whengenga Rarotonga ua alo ia ai se sone e le aini a upenga whaaniukiri e le Pasifika i saute. O le nei whengenga na sainia i nisi o atunu o le Pasifika e au whei Australia ma Neusila i le tausanga e awhi salau walu lima. I se whamtalanga Australia na tā wai whapea o le palemia o le moto le atukuki a Mark Brown o ia lea na mua lava whaalia lo nā tungalu i le nei maalienga. To the Pacific now, and the Pacific Islands Forum Chair has been assured by the United States that the AUKUS agreement will honour the treatment of Rarotonga after initially saying he felt it would go against it. The Treaty of Rarotonga formalizes a nuclear weapon-free zone in the South Pacific. It was signed by several Pacific nations, including Australia and New Zealand, in 1985. The Forum Chair and Cook Islands Prime Minister Mark Brown said he was reassured to receive from U.S. counterparts last week assurances that the AUKUS would uphold the Rarotonga Treaty in a media statement. Brown initially raised concerns with the Cook Island News about the agreement. The whole intention of the Treaty of Rarotonga was to de-escalate what were the time Cold War tensions between the major superpowers. This AUKUS agreement seems to be going against it, Brown told the paper in March. Ia usi mai lolo mai mo le whaaluina nei o tātou tāla Amerika mo le niaso. Let's have a look at our currency exchange rate for today. Tomo atu lesi whaalewina o le tātou tala i le aso a taiao. Lea wo malteimi mo le tātou ripoti i le tūlanga le tāu mo Amerika Samoa mo le nei fiafi usumail mai moa. I le tātou ripoti o le tāu pe ona tuina mai le tātou whisawai tāu i tāwhuna mo le ponei a wawa ni isu teimi ta ape solo timu le malu e valu sefulu sa vidi mai sasae e sefulu lima mai le tūlā. I la solua e awa ni so teimi ta ape solo timu le vele valuiva sa vili mai sae sefulu lima mai le tūlā. I le pola solua ma le solulu e awa ni so teimi ta ape nai timu o le malu e valu sefulu le vele le ea e va sefulu fa pe ma sa vili mai sae e lima i le sefulu lima mai i le tūlā. Once again, here's your weather report for tonight. American Samoa, it's going to be partly cloudy, scattered showers lows around 80, east winds of around 15 miles per hour. For Tuesday, it's mostly sunny, scattered showers, highs in the upper 80s, with east winds of around 15 miles per hour. Looking at Tuesday night and Wednesday, it's going to be partly cloudy, isolated showers, lows in the upper 70s, highs near 90, with east winds of 5 to 15 miles per hour. Ia, o whai watu ina tātou tale vai whanua, mo le nei fo i vai ngole a whiawhi whaafitai le whaatasmai, le tumoata se su whaapoponga le aso teao, manuia le nei a whiawhi soi fo ia. That's your news from KVZK. Thanks for watching. Good night.